and welcome, Paragoners. I have a Cynthia game for you, who was formerly known as FaZe in Paragon. And for those of you who may not know, Cynthia is a damage-dealing mage. She is no longer a support. And for those who are interested, I'm going to give you just a little bit of information to prepare you, so you kind of get a head start when the closed beta test rolls around and you're not basically spending the first 2-3 games with her feeling your way around. I'll just help give you some shortcuts to start hitting your stride with Cynthia as quick as possible. But first, I just want to give a quick shout out to Bloodhunter. Thanks for asking for this hero. If you guys would like to see any other heroes, please let me know down in the comments and I'll refer to my archive, pull out a video, and we'll get into that hero as well. So without any further ado, here we have Cynthia in the solo lane. We're using our Psychic Lance to flush out the brush. It's a good way, because the range there is so far, it's a safe way to kind of poke in the bush and see if anybody's there. Now, Cynthia has 3 damage dealing abilities. She has her Q, E, and R. The Q is the blind. It's an AoE damage dealing blind. The E is the Psychic Lance that you saw. And the R, which is kind of like an AoE pulse, like, not explosion, but she does like one pulse that knocks back enemies, and it deals a lot of damage. So the Sevarog Overstate is welcome, and we score a kill. Now guys, I just want to give you a brief ability breakdown, just so you know what to prioritize. In this game, you want to prioritize your Q. In Overprime, the Q is the nuke. It's the biggest damage dealer, and it's the most consistent damage dealer, because it's kind of just like you only need a half second to cast and get it off to do all the damage, whereas Psychic Lance, you need to be aiming, and you know, with how fast enemies are with movement abilities and everything, there's a high likelihood with the Psychic Lance you're not going to score all the potential damage that you would on a minion, just like this minion that we killed right here. So Q is the #1 ability to level up. Afterwards, it's I'm not including the ultimate here, but it's pretty much a personal preference between E and right click, but I highly recommend leveling up your E, which is your Psychic Lance, because at the lower levels it's not really good against heroes. It's not, you wouldn't really want to use it against heroes. Just because at the beginning of the game you're short on mana, and the Psychic Lance is extremely mana intensive, and leveling it up quicker and having it at a higher level will yield more bang for your buck for the mana spent in terms of damage output. So my preference is Q first, E second, and then right click. And I mean, I guess this should go without saying, but just to be safe, whenever you can level your ultimate, you level your ultimate, no matter what. Your ultimate takes precedence over any other ability. Just thought that I should throw that out there. So now, as far as itemization goes, we won't go too in depth into the itemization of Cynthia. There's one item in this game, it's this book, and that's known as like the quintessential sustain item. I don't like that item. I not that it's a bad item, but on Cynthia I don't like it on her, because like right now I'm at a pretty good level of health, and it doesn't matter if I heal a little bit more because I need as much damage as possible in order to kill the enemy. You know, it's like I don't need sustain if I'm alive and they're dead. So like right now sustain would be nice here, but you know, I can't, I don't think I leveled up my ultimate there. Oh my goodness. No, I did, right? Yeah, I did. That's why I have it. Okay. So that's why I prefer the damage dealing items, because you know, it's just you wave clear better, you fight better against the enemies, and I with the sustain, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna test it, this stress test, to find out for sure. That was awkward. He dashed and I pulled him too. But yeah, I didn't get to, like, I didn't do much damage against him. And here we're just trying to dodge his shots. And he stopped there, but he could have definitely killed us. You know, I shouldn't have like gone around the tower back then, but he could have definitely got me. But I guess he just like threw up his hands in frustration. Anyway, so how I like to, which items I like to buy for phase are the damage, like magic power, magic penetration. I opt to go for this item first, where you guys will see it. It's like magic rod or something like that. It basically gives you a move speed boost once you land magic damage. And the reason why I got this is partly because Cynthia doesn't have great mobility. She does not have great mobility at all. She's a position-centric hero that has lackluster movement. So is it the best item? Probably not. This like thinking about it, I probably should get this item after a couple others, but at the time I felt like this was where I wanted to experiment. So yeah, I think with Cynthia, she's powerful, but you definitely need some items on her. I don't know her exact scaling, but at the beginning of the game you hit like a pillow. Here we're getting ganked, and I'm trying to activate move speed. Not really doing a good job running. I pop my ult. And we managed to escape there.
Be right back.
Not a particularly skillful escape by any means, but hey, we're alive. That's such a silly name for an item. White Executive Stick. Seriously? They come up with such an amazing name like Scott, and then for that item it's... Anyway. So we're back in lane. We almost have our first item built, and we use our tether offensively. And check that out. There were no minions in tower range. We tethered the enemy Sev into tower range so that the tower instantly started to target him. We rooted him with the slow and ended up scoring the kill. And that's one situation I think FaZe absolutely shines. I'm sorry, Cynthia. Cynthia absolutely shines. Just imagine your team defending an inhibitor, and you're in your inhibitor range, and you know that where the two teams are doing that kind of dance to try to catch someone out. you can easily blink in, pull somebody, and if it's a carry, that's all the better. And just it can be game changing. Yeah, absolutely game changing. It could turn the tide of the match.
Go back to base for a second.
But it is a risk. It is a pretty big risk. Okay, so we got the Wand of Great Knowledge, which upon hitting a hero with a skill increases our move speed. I think it's quite nice, especially with the lance, because the lance is so long distance. It's so easy to proc, and basically, my thought process was if I'm want to engage on somebody with the lance, I'm slowing them down and I get a move speed boost to close that distance, because the tether is such short range. You really have to be aware of the distances of the tether and the enemy, because if you tether an enemy and they are just they get an inch too far, the tether's broken and it's on cooldown, and now you have to wait a long time for it. How do you guys feel about the sprint mode? I honestly quite like it. It's actually the #1 aspect of gameplay that I recommend new players practice. That's like the quickest way to step up your gameplay, is just constantly utilizing your sprint. It's the difference between chasing down and confirming a kill, or it could be the difference between you dying and escaping. It's critical. It's absolutely critical. It should be the #1 thing that that people learn to make it like a reflex. You got to get the you got to practice that. I don't know what it is. Mind muscle connection, whatever. Just make it second nature. So, unfortunately, we got caught out there, and what was a 1v1 turned into a 2v1 into a 3v1, and obviously we're gonna get deleted in that situation. So here we have the Twin Blast, and so he's slowed, and we have the move speed boost. And unfortunately, I couldn't activate my travel or my sprint mode because of the minions. And so we are just exploring the jungle. And we find ourselves a low health Grux. And unfortunately, we got into a 2v1 scenario there. Not ideal. The Beatrice, aka Countess of the game, is really quite farmed. She does a lot of damage. So now we're just getting our next item, which is just magic damage and magic penetration. That might honestly be the best first item to get, because although the move speed boost is nice, it's still like damage for Cynthia is, in my opinion, what I would prioritize if I had another chance at this game. And so I'm gonna definitely test it out and let you guys know how it turns out. But I'm fairly confident that the route to go with Cynthia is not sustain. I don't think so. But you know what? I'm gonna have to test that out, because maybe sustain, since Cynthia is not exactly like a caster that's just gonna absolutely decimate somebody unless she's really far. Maybe sustain is the way to go. Because it seems like her lance could probably generate a lot of health since it has so many ticks of damage. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try it out for you guys. I highly encourage you guys to during the closed beta test, do what you feel, experiment, have fun, and if you'd like to share, I'll be streaming it probably for like 12 hours a day every day until it's over. So you can come join me on Twitch, twitchtv.com/jpie, JPIE, and you can share your findings. Because I'm always curious and I want to learn. Because I think that this game has enough depth where you can have people play the same hero completely differently with different items and still have a good effect. So right now they're just whooping us. Just whooping us. We got our Shakad blaster. But one reason why one reason why we're not doing well, like I said before, FaZe is a very positional hero, and in this match, you know, we have the Grux and the Countess completely going off, and we never want to be within their range. And with FaZe, the term artillery caster generally only applies to Gadget, because she's really the only one. But with how far the lance is, like the distance, it's massive. So you know, if you have the mana to expend, you should always just be feeling out the distances, you know, because not only are you going to be hitting them with the energy lance, you might also be, you're preventing them from entering travel mode and among other things. But you just got to be wary of if they want to engage on you and blink in, and that's the thing. FaZe is not a caster like Gideon where you can find yourself in an unfavorable position and then teleport out and reposition. With FaZe, you're dead. Either you kill them or you're dead. Maybe you can do some nice maneuvers with the blink and the slow, and maybe find a way out. But I think if it's, generally speaking, you're not. That's not going to happen if you're up against a confident player. So I want to go a little bit more into the tether, because you guys saw right there at that moment, I tethered to the Bellica and I wanted to pull her. Now, the thing with the tether is this. You have to be very careful, because tether is not easy at all to utilize, because it takes time to tether, and then it takes time to pull them. And oftentimes what's going to happen is you'll get in close enough to tether, and then they'll break away from the max distance of the tether before you can pull them, because there's just an innate built-in cooldown. It's only like a second or a second and a half, but that's more than enough time to break free from it. And if you FaZe, what you really want to do is, no, what am I doing? Oh my goodness. Goodness, I had tunnel vision. I just saw the low countess and forgot how to play MOBAs. Anyway, so you have to be extra aware of the tether and its distance, because it's going to happen to you more times than you can count, where you want to use it and it just, you didn't have the time, you didn't have the right distance, they close the distance. It happens all the time with Cynthia. Now, well, another thing to note about the tether, this is why I think Cynthia is going to be one of the best mages in Overprime, because of the disruption that the tether provides, as well as the peel for your carry that it provides. If there's an assassin hunting your carry, there are a few abilities that can compete with the peel of this ability. So, for example, Kyla or Kalari is attacking your carry. You just tether and you pull them away and you blind them, and hopefully that'll give enough time for your carry to, you know, reorient themselves and start punishing the enemy team. But that's one use. But even more of an even bigger use is the skill disruption element to the tether. Gideon blinks in, he does his ult, you tether and yank him out of the ult. Countess wants to do her feast ult. Now, provided you would have to have the tether, she would have to be already tethered, but you can potentially yank her out at the start of the animation. And, you know, some of the other characters that haven't gotten there yet, I think if Muriel sets up to ult across the map, when she's in that setup mode, you can yank her. You know, Narbash Drummond, you could yank him. I think that what Cynthia provides is really, really cool. Really cool. Obviously, it's the tether is high risk, high reward, because that's probably Cynthia's greatest weakness. In order for her to really do damage, she has to be close. She's not a melee caster, but just to give you perspective, I'm pretty sure Countess's abilities have greater range than Phase's Q and ultimate. So keep that in mind. That you know what's one item I think is going to be 100% necessary and a standard on Cynthia is that I'm pretty sure they have it in Overprime. I might be mistaken. Like a stasis item. You know, the item like where you basically activate it and then you can't deal damage or take damage for 2 seconds, something like that, because that's just gonna help your cooldowns. Which, oh, we're dead. Oh, that was odd though. I guess because the Countess killed us, because she had full health and I popped my Q there. Anyway. So we ended up, like, this game started off pretty well. We ended up losing because I'm pretty sure we have a guy who quit. Yeah, we have somebody who quit. And although the game wasn't looking great, the guy quitting the game just was the nail in the coffin for us, because we could have contended the game, but that's that. So guys, that's Cynthia. I highly recommend you try her out during this weekend's and next week's closed beta test for Overprime. I certainly will be playing many games, and if you want to check her out in action, come by the stream and we could chat about which heroes are great, how we feel about how they're doing, and yeah. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And good luck in the upcoming stress test. Hope you guys win all your matches. Fight on, friends.